Our Journals Out Loud from the Journals Network. I am your lovely and captivating Louise Palanger here with a panel of wise and wonderful teenagers.
I've been out there wandering.
We have Victoria, Sam, Kenneth, Lala,
Lolly.
Lala. I'm meeting the new kids, and sometimes they have interesting nicknames. And in the studio is our very special in-studio guest, Shawn Pelofsky.
Woo!
Thank you. Another teen.
Yes.
Mentally.
Yes. Shawn is a very professional stand-up comedian.
Not that professional.
Yeah, you are.
God knows what I'm going to say, but go ahead.
You have a lot of fanboys, right?
I have that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of boys that like me and that know how to dress me and do my hair very well. And then, no, I have crossover though. You know, all types of people are coming along for this comedy ride. So I'm pretty lucky to have all the great fans that support me.
And so what do you think of our new panelists?
I think everyone here is like America's Next Top Model. I
Right.
swear to God, I feel like Quasimodo in here. Like, don't look at me. I'm just going to tend to the fire. Everyone is very, very attractive and young. So, I'm sorry if I remind you of your aunt. I apologize.
Thank you.
Your old Jewish aunt,
So
especially you.
yeah, especially this one. He'll be in the second half of the show. Watch out for that guy.
Yes.
So Victoria, you are now starring in The Wiz
Yes.
as Dorothy.
Oh,
Yay.
Yeah.
Round of applause. And where can we see this production?
It's located in Santa Ana. The tickets are online.
Mm-hmm.
It's with Arts and Learning.
All right.
Yeah.
right,
I'm
cool.
really excited
Awesome.
about it.
Anyone else have any exciting updates? Life events, marriages, births, anything?
All of those.
All right, so we're going to just jump right into questions. But before we do that, because I want Shawn Pelofsky to be a part of our panel this evening, I
Yay.
kind of cut and pasted her Facebook bio. Who would like to read it aloud to her and remind her of how she is presenting herself?
God, I
on-
cannot remember the last time I updated
Exactly.
that.
That's why
Good
this
God.
is fun. Who's okay, Ken?
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
No. Oh, no.
I am a professional stand-up comedian in the city known as Los Angeles. You can catch me regularly at my home club, the world-famous Comedy Store on the Sunset Strip. Comedy is my passion and has taken me all over the world to places such as Bosnia, Bahrain, Kosovo, Guantanamo Bay, and Afghanistan to entertain our troops. I am fortunate to work with Atlantis Cruises and all over the LGBT community. I am the internal fag hag and would be nowhere today without my gays. I produce a monthly show at the Comedy Store called The Bathhouse Show. Brace yourselves, boys. I'm here to stretch it out.
Wait, Ken.
Yes. Stretch it out.
I'm going to have Shawn deliver the last line.
Stretch it out.
Yeah, you can't just say I'm here to stretch it out when you see all caps, Ken.
That's
I'm
true.
here to stretch it
out.
out.
Brace
Yeah.
yourselves, boys.
And
I'm
then-
here to stretch it out.
And then
Not
on
like the
stage-
Grim Reaper, Ken.
Yeah, that's usually accompanied by an act out in which she actually stretches it out.
Yeah.
By it, I mean all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Is
Well,
it physical?
I don't-
It's a physical
Yeah, it's a
movement.
physical
It's an
maneuver.
actual stretch. It's
Yeah,
kind
it's-
of like my catchphrase.
It's her
kind
catch.
of my physical go-to. So, sometimes I'll say a joke and stretch it out means nothing. So if I say something, people are laughing, I'm like, stretch it out. So that's all it means.
It's like
So
strike.
people like to differ than
It's
what
like
they think it means, but it means nothing.
It means strike a pose.
That's right. Exactly.
All right, are you ready to help the teens, young Shawn?
I'm going to try.
All right.
I'm going to try not to make it worse. This is what I'm going to say.
All right, at first do no harm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's her creed. Okay, so how do I know if the guy I love loves me back? Such a short question.
All right.
Have you got this one, Ken?
Yeah.
I've never been in love, so I don't know.
Ooh.
So we don't even know if they're dating. So that's like first is like, should we assume they're dating?
Is it like a
Are they
a guy she
friends?
just like looks at and loves him?
Yeah. It's like there's not a lot of information that's been offered to us.
I
Yeah.
would say this is how you know,
Mhm.
because he calls you. He actually picks up the phone and talks to you. Because today, in this day and age, I know before I got murdered, I tell you, I had dated a lot of boys.
I can
Boys.
testify.
Yeah, she knows too much. And and boys and men, guys love to text, and that's all it's about is texting. If someone actually makes a point, if a man makes a point and he calls you to talk to you, that means it's love.
Yeah, and
That's true.
if he knows your name.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
too.
That's usually a good one.
No.
No, not necessarily. All right,
If
so
I love you, I don't know your name.
so right now, Ken, you're the only guy on the
Yes.
panel, so I do have to ask you, like, let's say you're not dating the girl yet. How would you let her know that you love her?
Okay. Probably like me personally.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I'm more of like an outdoorsy type person, and so I'd probably like plan like a day, and then like if it went well, at the end of it, be like, oh, by the way, low key,
I think you're kind of cute.
Because
I have the
I'm
loves you.
not leaving you in the woods because I
leave you in
love
the
you.
woods,
Since
I
I
don't.
didn't murder you, I love you. That's what I would have done.
So you would
stays in the
see, like
woods.
what Ken is saying is like, he would go out of his way.
Put
He would
effort.
like either like if he heard you like cupcakes, he would buy you a cupcake. He would you would notice him going out of his way to be around you. You would look around and find, oh, he's here again.
That's
He'd make
creepy.
an effort.
No,
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
not do that.
Sam.
He would make some kind of effort.
Yeah, exactly.
But every guy shows their love in a different way,
This is
though.
also
So
true.
there is no like concrete, like if he loves me, he will creep up behind me and be like, oh, there he is. Like that's
That would mean that Donald Trump loves Hillary.
oh,
Let's not go
She
there.
went there. She went there.
stretch it out.
Oh God.
No, he
Stretch
won't
it
get
out.
near that. Won't
So
get near
now-
that.
How much do you love that his new thing after a
First of all,
punchline is
I
to
know. Can I just profess my love for Kenneth?
He learned that so quickly.
Yeah.
Aw.
That's
Yeah.
how you know it's a great
Yeah.
catchphrase.
Hearts right
There
now.
we go.
All right. So, Sam, would you read the next lengthy question?
Oh,
And it's elaborate,
boy.
so everyone take notes.
Alrighty. So, there's this girl at school. When I first met her, I thought she seemed nice. I invited her to sit with me at lunch. I always try to get her to talk to my group of friends, but she always just sits next to me and doesn't say anything to anyone but me. She talks about guy drama all the time, and she's thinking about getting a tattoo. I personally do think that tattoos are disgusting, and don't want her to get one. I'm realizing that we don't have that much in common, but she always tells me that I'm her only friend, and it freaks me out a bit. I've tried introducing her to other people, but she just sticks to me like a shadow, even though we have nothing in common, and the things that she talks about tend to make me feel uncomfortable. She asks for advice on things I know nothing about, having never had a boyfriend and having two perfectly married parents. What can I do? Wow. All right.
Lolly.
Well, from what I'm hearing, it's a lot of she's kind of telling him what she likes and what she wants to do, but I don't hear him kind of saying that
I think it's a girl.
a girl. Oh, it's a girl. Okay. She's not really saying like how her friend, how she tries to talk to her friend. Like, you say you don't have things in common because she's telling you about all these things, but if you kind of just tell her like, hey, I'm not really comfortable about talking about that because I haven't experienced and I wouldn't know what to tell you, or putting things out there that she likes to see if they really do have anything in common and kind of see where it goes from there. And if it's kind of not working out, you just got to tell her like, I don't think this friendship is going to work because I just don't think we have a lot of things in common.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's sound.
One thing that I would recommend, if you have friends who have things in common with her, kind of hang out in like bigger groups with those people, and hopefully they'll hit it off, and then she'll become that person's shadow. I'm not saying like you should try and get rid of the friend, but if like you're in the same environment where like they have things in common, they might click and things will be good.
I agree. And my opinion on the subject is that for me, it doesn't really sound like you're giving her like a chance.
Yeah.
It sounds like she just came in and she sat next to you and she's not really bonding with everyone and she's like sticking to you, but you're kind of like, yeah, I don't really like that, so I don't
Maybe
want to be
she's
friends
shy.
with you anymore. Yeah, exactly. It sounds like she is.
Yeah.
And so maybe try to like, before you completely cut things off, because she has said she's like your only friend, or no, other way around. You're her only friend.
Right.
And so she kind of needs you, and she's in a new school. Sounds like it. And so, you know, give her a chance, try your best to help her. And like, if that really doesn't work out, then probably should have a conversation with her where you were like, I don't think we should be friends with her anymore because I'm not benefiting you, Victoria.
Okay, so I don't think it really matters whether you have so much in common with the person, because it's really just having their company. It's kind of like you can talk to them, and like, I don't know. I think that it really doesn't matter whether, you know, they have a whole lot in common, but like, I don't know how to explain this.
Well, what I think you're trying to say possibly is that, you know, we learn the most from the people that we have the least in common with.
very
And
true.
there's a little bit of judgment in your question when you talk about your perfectly married parents. This kid needs family because she doesn't come from a great family. And for some reason, she sees something in you, and that's a compliment. So open your heart a little bit, maybe, before you kind of do the slow slide away, which is your right to do if you don't
Yeah.
feel like you're bonding with her. Love, yeah.
I also think like she was saying that she like wants to get a tattoo, and she's like, well, I don't really want her to get a tattoo. Like, she should express that to her. Like, she's coming to you with advice,
Yeah.
and you even if you didn't experience, like she said, your parents are together, meaning maybe hers are divorced. Like, maybe she trusts you to give her advice, even though you haven't been through it. Just kind of be there and comfort her, even though you don't really know what to say. And I think that would make them a great friends, because they also say opposites attract. So I don't think being a friendship, you have to have so much in common.
Yeah. Any experience with this, young Shawn?
I'm still dreaming about two perfectly married parents.
Yeah.
Because I don't have
If
that,
only.
so I don't know if she'd want to hang with me either. But I have to say, you know, I'm a girl who was born and raised in Oklahoma, and you know, it's known to be the heartland for a reason. And I just say, be kind to everybody. I don't think there's a reason to judge. You just got to listen to people and just be nice to people. And I feel like she just needs to give this girl a chance.
Yeah, I mean, you can say things like, "Well, tell me why you want a tattoo. Like, what about it is appealing to you?" And learn, and just maybe so that by the time you get to college, you're not as closed-minded, and that you're more open to different preferences, and you can hold on to yours. No one's going to change you, but just maybe ask some follow-up questions, like, "Oh, well, why do you tell me more about your family?" And Sam.
And I was just thinking, maybe she looks up to you. 'Cause
Sounds like it, right?
me personally, coming from a family that's kind of fallen apart, I kind of cling on to my friends who have these perfect families, because it gives me almost another family to live from, and like it's just like a feeling of security. So maybe that's just what she wants.
Yeah, that's a good point, Victoria.
And also the whole gosh, I had this far. Oh, okay. It keeps slipping my mind.
You got it. I believe in you.
I got you. Same thing happens to me.
The
Do you want me to say something real quick?
yeah,
or you
go
try to
ahead,
remember?
say something. I will come back to me.
Also, a big thing, it's just like try to realize that if you were in her same position, you would probably want someone to be there for you. Yeah. And she doesn't sound like she has any friends. You're her only friend. And back to Victoria, and I'll finish my sentence.
Okay, so like these topics that she's talking about seems like more like popular topics, because she probably wants to start a conversation. She just doesn't know how to. And she may not have that many friends, so she's kind of just trying stuff because you're the one who approached her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
she's feeling like, oh, well, this is a safe harbor, and maybe she just needs to like dock her boat there for a little bit until she finds her peeps. Because in subsequent letters, she mentioned that maybe this kid is more goth, and maybe she'll find her goth people, and it will happen. This problem can solve itself just naturally as people sort of find their people. So I'd say, you know, what Shawn said, you know, be kind, and you can arrange for a couple of people that you like better to sit next to you. You don't always have to be pulled out of the conversation to talk separately with this person. Go ahead, Victoria.
And also like the whole tattoo thing. I mean, unless she was asking for your opinion, maybe like you can I don't know. I'm not like a big fan of tattoos, but like if you know, like, you can do whatever you want because it's your body. But, you know what I mean? Like, you can give her advice. That's probably what she's seeking if she's telling you this. And, yeah, that's...
But even
basically.
if you don't like tattoos, you probably shouldn't just go out and be like, "Oh, I don't like tattoos." That's not a good thing, because like it's your body, it's your decision. It's a forever decision, and it's not your jurisdiction to say whether she gets one or not.
Yeah, I agree. And same time, like this is like a huge like stretch, but stretch it out. Maybe
Still loving you. Ken. Still loving you.
Oh my god.
But maybe she just wants someone to tell her like, hey, I don't think that's a good idea. You probably shouldn't do that. Because like a tattoo is a pretty big thing. And I know a lot of like, this is going to sound weird, but I have friends that are like, oh, I'm going to get a piercing. And then they never really wanted it. They just wanted someone to care and be like, no, you shouldn't do that.
That's true.
That's a stretch.
It's like an
It
iffy.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So you could just tell them like, I don't think personally that it's good, or maybe you will regret it, but at the same time it's your body and it's your decision.
Exactly.
So you make them feel like at the same time you don't think it's a good idea, but at the long run it's their decision.
Yeah, for sure. Victoria?
They could also be seeking, like, a parent kind of
Oh, I
figure,
absolutely feel like
an authority or someone who gives, like, parently advice.
Yeah,
Since
and
Someone to look up
they're
to.
talking about boy troubles and tattoos and
and you know, and it's always okay to say, well, I don't have any experience with that, but like, go ahead and talk. I'm happy to listen.
Exactly.
You don't have to know all the answers, or you don't have to parent this person, and you don't have to have everything in common with this person. You can just be like, oh, well, I wouldn't get a tattoo, but like, tell me more about why you want one, and can I have some of your tots? Because that's if she
And
shares
Frito pie.
if she shares her tots, then that's a keeper.
That's the best friend for life.
Lolly, would you read the next question, please?
I think my girlfriend likes my friend. She won't stop talking about him. He sings, and we were listening to his music, and she can make me be quiet to listen to his song, and she would smile. Then she will check all his social media like every day. And when he's around, she won't talk to me and will ignore me. She tells me I shouldn't worry about it, but I don't know.
I think you should worry about it.
Right. You should definitely worry
Just
about
throwing
it.
that out there, I think you should definitely worry about it, because it sounds like your girlfriend is starting to become a little more interested in your friend than you. So what I would do is maybe don't jump the gun, but definitely ask her about it, and maybe ask your friend if they see anything.
Because she checks his social media. Everybody checks the person they like social media.
Oh, yeah.
We
You
all
stalk them.
are
stalk.
guilty of that.
There is a
I
difference
check
between,
Zac
like-
Efron's social media every day.
You don't
I'm-
see Zac Efron every day,
Okay.
though.
Well, if I
That's
did,
also
If you
true.
did,
If she
you
could,
would.
she would.
No, but we're talking about the difference between a girlfriend and a crush. So you can't really
Oh.
compare,
That's very
can
true.
you, Sam?
Not really,
I mean,
no.
okay, Ken.
I just think like for some subjects you should jump the gun, and this definitely sounds like one of those. This does not sound good in any way.
So
like,
many red flags.
There's like every single red
Well,
flag.
yeah,
Like, there's not a red
What am I
flag.
missing? It's like a guy that they know who sings, and she has a crush on him. Like, how is that not okay?
yeah.
Yeah, that can just go wrong in so many ways.
That's so
And
true.
Why?
like,
Because he sings.
yeah,
Just kidding.
he could
They all
sing her
fly
to
for
death. Okay.
Show tunes.
Like, how is that?
Die.
How is that a threat to their friendship if she's a little distracted by a boy? I'm not sure I'm understanding.
They're
this.
dating.
They're dating. She
Oh.
said my
Yeah, that's
wait.
the big thing.
She said
I
he
thought-
said
I
my
thought you-
girlfriend likes my friend.
Oh, so it's a boy. This question is from a boy.
Wait, I
Yes.
thought it was a girl who had a girlfriend who liked
Oh,
her
me
friend
too.
who
I'm
was
with
a guy.
Sean. I'm with Sean.
Oh,
Well,
all
it could be.
right.
It
Okay,
could be.
Sorry.
Erases.
Wait, are you sure?
Okay.
Is that what it is?
I'm
It's a
pretty
guy?
sure.
No, yeah.
Aaron?
It's a guy.
Yeah.
Is it anonymous?
All right.
That's where I
All
was
right. So let's
confused. Sorry.
assume that you guys are right. Okay. All right.
All right.
It's from a boy,
I got it.
and this girlfriend is distracted by some boy who sings.
Got it.
Yeah.
Roll your eyes, right? I don't want my
Ah,
friend
yeah.
singing around my
Yeah.
friend that's a girl.
All right. So what does he do? What does
How
he do?
did you and I get confused? How come we were on the weird
Because
same
we just,
level?
I don't know.
Because we're both wearing black.
Yeah.
We're like,
I'm like, what?
Okay. So what should he do, Ken? What
Jump the gun.
So
End it.
Well,
No.
that might be a little extreme.
No.
Or he should pick up a guitar.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
That's
good
right.
idea.
Oh.
Just
That's a
saying.
good
But then
idea.
she's gonna be like, "Why are you trying to be like Josh over here?" Like,
Maybe
Because you
not.
obviously seem more interested in Josh.
yeah, like it's just doesn't sound good. I feel like she's never gonna have the courage to do it because she obviously hasn't had the courage to tell you that she likes your friend, which is very obvious. So probably you should take control of that situation and end it.
Another thing is, I have known quite a few people who like to set up another relationship before they end the one that they're in. So she could be setting up a new relationship and be getting ready to throw you to the curb. So you might want to check on that just a little bit.
Oh my gosh, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Maybe.
You can tell us if we're wrong too. You can tell us if we're overreacting.
I think that he should definitely like talk to her about that, because I mean, if you're even doubting your girlfriend, I think that's definitely a red flag. I mean, the way
Yeah.
she's acting, I mean, if I was acting like that, I know that means that I like someone, and it's definitely not my boyfriend. If she like, I mean, she would be acting like that towards her boyfriend, stalking his social media and always wanting to talk to him. Like, if I'm with my boyfriend and I'm like, I don't even want to talk to you, I want to talk to this guy, then that's definitely a red flag for the boyfriend to be like, hey, like,
Something's up.
It sounds like it doesn't even matter whether or not the singer is into this girl, because what's already happening is that she's easily distracted by
Yeah.
another.
He's a singer,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
she's like, oh, like, it's like the little halo.
Yeah.
voice.
Sing.
I mean, are you going to be with Mark or are you going to be with like John Bon Jovi?
Well-
Sorry to make that all old and weird, but go
Well,
ahead.
I'm not gonna stalk Jackson Brown in front of my husband. I mean, like there's a way that you can
I've never
privately.
even heard of Jackson
you know,
Brown.
like
you just brought up like a fossil.
At least she could like be respectful
You might as well be
and do it
talking
when he's not
Hebrew
looking.
right now. You understand that?
No, but like you have to wait till he's asleep, and then you can be like,
Hey.
"Oh, what's Jackson Brown doing?" No, but I think that he should like privately talk to his girl and be like, "Okay,
Yeah.
what's
I feel like
up with
he's
us?"
Tried though. I feel like he's genuinely tried,
Yeah,
and
well,
she's just blown it off.
Yeah, because she
Right.
said that
She said,
that she said there's
"Don't
nothing to worry
worry
about
about
it.
it."
So they definitely talked about it. She just kind of blowing it off, like
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
saying like, why don't you trust me? Like, don't even worry about it. I just like to stalk people.
If she pulls the "Why don't you trust me" card, then you
Ooh.
know that you're
Yeah.
on your way out. It sounds like she's getting just a little bit bored.
Behavior
As
is
much as I
really
hate
a
to
lot
say
more
it.
important than words, though, right?
Very
Yeah.
much
Very.
so. Very much so.
So we don't have any good news for you. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
If
Wow.
yeah.
If she's willing
Unless
to get
you were two
distracted,
girls
then
and there was a
not
cou-
worth
yeah,
it.
if you were two girls and
Like if it was the scenario we
yeah, if
thought
it was
of.
the original scenario,
Yeah.
we would be like, I'm not sure what. Wait, what?
Why was that a problem?
Who hasn't read yet and would like to read? Oh, I'll read the next question. I'm homeschooled and I really hate it. My parents think I love it and that I am this really spiritual person who wants to avoid bad influences. But I need to go to public school so I can have a social life. And my parents are so overprotective, so I view this as my only way out. They are ruining my teenhood. What's an excuse so I can convince them to let me go? Any ideas where I can make it where they have no choice but to send me? How can I make them dislike my online school?
Personally, I'm homeschooled, and there has been times where I feel like I need like a social life, like I need friends, I need to go to regular school. And I personally don't think that you should make an excuse. Like, you should just tell them like, hey, I want friends. Like, I want to be around people. I experience other high school experience that's not at home, basically. And I think if you just tell them that and kind of tell them this is what you want, that you should try that first before you try to make something up.
Good advice.
I would go up to your parents and just straight ask them, did you go to public school? Did you come out okay? Because, like, public school, sometimes, yeah, it sucks. But it's one of those things that you need to experience in your life just to kind of have under your belt, because it builds so much character, especially in high school. And it's really a big part of life that you don't want to miss. And if your parents went through that and understand that, they might understand. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Ken?
I agree. I feel like, okay, for this question, there's two routes you can go. You can either go to like, I definitely feel like I need to go to public school, and if I don't, then there's going to be a really big issue. And then there's the like trying to compromise. Like, if your parents are set on you going to homeschooled, then you should probably come up with this idea. Maybe do extracurricular activities, like I don't know, play the trombone, play soccer,
Take dance classes.
play the triangle.
Is anyone a
Things
little
like
bit
that.
alarmed that the first instinct of this person is to trick your parents?
Well, maybe like
That
their
was
parents
a
are that
little-
strict that they feel like they have to like sneak
Victoria.
their way around.
You can just say, I would like to experience public school. You can just say that, and I'm pretty sure they'll understand. I mean, I mean, my parents give me a choice, but I know that if you come to them as like an adult and like be mature about it instead of I want to trick my parents.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
if you
that's
come
true.
to them like as like they're saying like bad influences, right? If you show them that you're not going to fall under those bad influences or whatever, then they might be like, okay, this person, she can handle it.
So
He
everyone
can
has
handle it.
currency. Everyone has an agenda, and so to make a bridge, you find out what the other person's currency, what the other person's agenda, what their fears are, what their concerns are. Obviously, you're homeschooled because you guys are really religious. So if you say to them, I understand who I am, and you've raised me really well, and I'm going to adhere to all the principles that you are teaching me, but I would like to go to school and have these other experiences, but you don't need to worry that I'm going to be corrupted by tattooed kids. In other words, like address their fears and kind of like let them know that you are a strong person who wouldn't try to trick your parents. Wink, wink. Go ahead, Victoria.
Especially if they're perfectly married parents.
Oh,
You don't want to trick those people.
Call back.
And I mean, you can also do other stuff like there's like co-op or stuff like I don't know, like those homeschool meeting things. And maybe if you start looking up those things and starting to bring that to their attention that you want to go out, you want to socialize with other people, they'll think, okay, yeah, they can go to
But show
school.
them your maturity. Show them
Exactly.
how you're
Don't-
ready
don't
for
take
it.
it in an
We're gonna
immature
before
way.
that. Sam, before we go to you, we're just gonna go to the phone call.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're not gonna go to the phone call. We lost the phone call. Matt, do we have a phone call? No, we don't have a phone call. Okay, Sam.
Okay. And one thing that I would recommend, my parents and I have always been really, really open with each other. Like my parents and I, we had this thing where I was allowed to do whatever I want as long as they knew where I was, who I was with, and what I was doing. Cause like there's the thing on the iPhone now, like where you can track people, and I mean it sounds crazy, but
Don't tell that
my
to
mom
the
is in the
parents that
room.
might be
alive.
watching.
Don't say that.
I grew up at the right time.
But that helped me so much. And if that's something that you're okay with, your parents might support that and
Mom.
let you go to public school.
Mom, if you're watching this, I don't know what she's talking about.
Me
but
either.
it
I don't know what
exists,
she's talking
Yeah.
about.
and
It's a myth.
Probably shouldn't look into that.
Yeah.
Give your mom a flip phone if I were you, Kenneth.
But for me, it's been
In
a
the
blessing.
process. In the process.
Aaron, did you want to swap out the panel before we go to our next question, or? We have a call. Oh, we have a call.
Ooh.
Who's calling? Hello. Thanks for calling Journals Out Loud. Who's this?
Hi, I have a question for Lolly.
Okay.
I have really ugly feet, and I don't want to show my boyfriend. Can she give me some advice on what to do?
What's she's? Yeah. Do not laugh.
Sorry.
What
It's
do
just that I'm laughing
what's-
at myself because I hate feet.
Oh, is it your feet that are ugly?
Aw.
You know, everyone's feet are pretty ugly, right?
You're pretty gross.
I
Just
hate
aren't that
feet.
cute.
I
Yeah.
hate feet. Like, I hate my feet, not everyone else's. I just hate feet. That's why the question was funny. It was funny towards me.
All right.
Did she say she don't want to show her
She doesn't want
boyfriend
to show her
feet?
boyfriend her feet. Mm-hmm. Socks.
Socks.
That's a good idea.
Socks
Socks
is a
are
great idea.
heroic. Socks
Okay,
are very
I
heroic
would have never
they're.
thought of that.
But cute socks,
'cause
so
they
they
take-
can't make you take them off.
Yeah, they take. They
Yeah.
take
Or
the-
you can paint your nails.
That's true. That always helps a little bit.
That distracts. You're
yeah.
like, oh, your nails are
Get a little
cute.
pizzazz. Get a
Yeah.
really good pedicure, and then you're golden.
See, if I paint my nails, I'm like, they look good. But if I
Right.
don't, it's like, what
It's
are,
like, these
why
are
are they
feet.
there? They're just
why do
feet.
these exist?
I
Are
mean,
you
your
kidding?
boyfriend
I
probably
would-
has something about him that he's embarrassed about.
Yeah.
Too. Everyone has.
Are you kidding? I walk around in the dark. My husband never sees me. This is just what it is. You know, we all
I
have
was
something that we
I
think.
was thinking I could put like perfume, maybe.
Oh, they smell?
Oh, I've
Oh,
always
they're
been insecure
stinky
about
feet.
the smell of my
you
feet.
could just wash them.
I
No.
just I just wanted to tell Lolly that I'm like a big fan of hers. Thank you.
All right, thanks for calling.
Thank you.
You have fans.
I wish I had.
I don't have any fans. I've been
You
here for a
have
year.
cornered the foot insecurity marketplace. They're yours. But
great.
Shawn, you have some good advice about everybody and their insecurities, right?
I just say I think we all have something that we're concerned about with our bodies or our looks, and I think we're all a little bit insecure in that way. And so feet, if your feet don't smell as fabulous as you'd like them to, there are many things and remedies for something like that, or it's going to a doctor. There's so many, you can even look online, and I'm sure there are many remedies to something like that. But
what's really good for feet is Epsom salt. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You get like one of those tubs that are meant for feet, and you put hot water and then Epsom salts and just soak your feet for like a half an hour. It feels good. And then your feet smell fine.
And also, like, sometimes if you're wearing shoes, you don't have to wear maybe socks with them, but they do, like if you're wearing flats or something, they do have those
Those little
sock
socks.
things
Yeah.
that you can't see. Because I remember I had a friend in college. She kind of had that problem. She always wore those, and that it helped her feet.
I think if a guy likes you, he's going to like your feet. That's what I
That's
think.
true.
I also think that if it's your boyfriend and if it's like a long-term boyfriend, if he loves you, I don't really think he's going to care about
No.
how your feet. He's going to like you the way you are, and it's not going to be a big deal than what you think it is.
Yeah, very good advice, Lolly. All right, we're going to swap out the panel. Thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. It was so good. And cut to bars.
I have a friend named Darth Vader now.
Are we back? Hi, we're back. And we have a new panel. Would you please introduce yourselves?
I'm Vedavit.
I'm Mozart.
I'm Ken.
I'm Heaven.
And we're here with our special in-studio guest,
Svetlana.
comedian
Oh.
Shawn Pelofsky.
I wanted a really cool name.
Now,
I had to
Shawn.
follow Heaven here.
Now, Shawn, where can people find your stuff and become a fangirl?
Oh, where can they not find my stuff? My website is hahachick.com, HAHACHICK.com. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Shawn Pelofsky. And I perform regularly at the world famous Comedy Store every week when I am not traveling around the world entertaining.
And you have a web series with Jilly.
I do. It was on hold for a little bit because she was shooting a movie that I got to be a part of, and I was shooting a 1-hour comedy special. So yes, we do. We have a YouTube series called Stop It, and basically we're Jill Michelle Millian, who was from Mad TV. We together we take on topics and we rant about certain things that we want stopped.
And so one of the things that I need to reveal to our listeners by way of full disclosure is that Shawn and Jilly do not actually like you people.
Oh, that's not
They're
true.
not. Oh,
wow.
Jill
Thanks.
hasn't even
I'm
met
sorry.
them.
I have evidence.
Oh.
Can we
there an
please cut to the tape?
I have receipts.
What the?
Is not office wear. If the world is lucky, maybe you'll disappear in 5 seconds. Say it with us. Snapchat. Stop it. Millennials
okay.
are the new Zika. Nobody wants to get pregnant with it. If you know who Taylor Swift is and never heard of Sir Paul McCartney, you're a dick. If you own a selfie stick, you're a bigger dick. Stop looking
That was
at
to
your
my mom.
phones. People are talking to you. Say it with us. Conversation. Stop it. Hey, Shawn, you want to sit around all day in the houses that our parents bought for us while playing Grand Theft Auto and smoking on our vape pens and ordering food on Uber because we're lazy as Shawn. Wait, hold on. Let me text it to you. Okay. Did you get it? Emoji, emoji, emoji. Did you get it? Hold on. Stop it! For more videos.
Explain yourself.
Well, we just took on the topic millennials.
Right, but you do really enjoy these young people, correct?
Of course. How
Yeah.
could I not love these
I mean,
people?
It's been like
I'm
3
talking-
minutes and not one of them has
I
picked
don't
up a
even
phone.
consider these kids really millennials. Millennials
Aaron.
are more like, I would say, about like 28, 20, like those millennials, not the younger.
So you like teenagers, you just don't like 28-year-olds.
I'm talking like right out of college and
Because these people have not even
privilege
they don't have
and
they haven't had the opportunity to still be living on their mother's couch.
Yeah, no, they're still like a lot of them are still in high school.
They have bedrooms.
And doing their thing.
Yeah.
I don't consider that.
Veda,
What?
did you want to argue with her about the merits of your generation?
Wait, so you're saying in their 20s? You don't like the people in their 20s?
That's why I don't like all people in their 20s. I'm just saying the politically correct types of millennials that later 20s, you know what the ones that keep stuff from actually happening. Those are the types. And not all of them. You can't say that. You can't stereotype one total everybody.
So in the future, you may not like us. Possibly.
I don't think so. I've talked to you all. I think you guys are all actually really cute. They're very sweet.
They are. They're the ones in the other room that are making too much noise. Not my favorites.
I liked them too, actually.
I did when they were here, but now they're distracting me.
Yeah.
They need to keep it down. You guys need to keep it down. Keep it down. We're live in here. I need to put like a red light on the door on air. All right, let's dive into questions, Veda. First one is the one that says, I just started dating this guy.
I just started dating this guy. I like him a lot, but I don't know what to talk about. We talk about tons of things over text, but in person it's harder. Any advice?
All right, so this is the dilemma of this generation that you hate so much, Shawn. Or not?
Wow.
You don't dislike the people. You just kind of like the art of conversation is sort of like slipping past them. So what do you do, Mozart?
Well, okay, so I have one suggestion. Maybe to bridge the barrier, maybe to bridge the two like opposite sides of the bridge, like texting and like face-to-face contact with another human being. Whoa. Try FaceTiming them and maybe that will help. Maybe. It's like in the middle.
I like that. Ken.
So, two things. One, if you guys can't communicate in person, you can communicate over text. Red flag.
Yep.
Yes.
Boom. Probably shouldn't be together. Second thing, if you really do want to make it work, though, maybe try like getting something that they're passionate about and just riding on that wave. Because if somebody likes something enough, they can talk about it for hours.
Can I get an amen? Stretch that out,
Stretch
Kenneth.
it right.
I agree.
Stretch it out.
I agree.
Also, questions are good conversation starters. Like have 3 questions kind of stored up in your brain and be like, so tell me more about this ninja warrior thing. That
I mean, I can understand being nervous at first and not being able to talk. Like I was always awkward with men and nervous, and it was always easy sometimes to meet someone online and talk to them. But when you get with someone in person, either there's a flow to you guys or there's not. And if there is no flow, and you're not on your first date and you're dating that person, I don't know.
I know, but Shawn, you have to imagine that they're 14.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm imagining that they're 14.
Yeah, and so we didn't have texting, but we didn't. Well, so we would pass notes, and it is hard at 14 to figure out how to talk to.
Yeah, but I mean, I was awkward at 30. I mean,
Yeah.
this is like 14, 30.
Right.
Sometimes when you're just nervous, and I'm not an awkward speaker, obviously.
No.
I speak in front of audiences and do all the time. If it was a one-on-one, a guy approaching me in a
Nervous.
bar, well, forget about it. I was like, ah! And I get that. But at some point, that's got, there's got to be a conversation.
Bridging the gap, as Mozart said. Go ahead.
So I consider myself to be a good texter. Like, that's one of the things I pride myself in being like, I can keep a conversation going in text, and I feel like I'm good at it. But for a really long time, I was so scared of talking to anybody over the phone, over FaceTime. I didn't have an issue in person, but that was because I didn't talk to most of these people in person at all. But I had this fear, I cannot talk over FaceTime. No, it's awkward. No. But I've gotten over that.
And how did you do that?
I just did it.
Right. And like anything in life, you just have to
Just do it.
push past the fear until it becomes a thing that you're used to doing. And so much of life is scary, but that's not reason enough not to do it.
Yesterday you said tomorrow. Stretch it out.
Mozart, you give good texts. I love you too.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that you don't have to worry about anything coming up weird trying to talk to him or FaceTiming because you're dating him. So it's not like you don't have to fear, oh no, what if he finds out I like him because you're dating him in the first place. I'm kind of concerned about how he asked you or maybe you asked him to
How did
be
it
a
start?
couple, because if you guys ask through text, that's kind of not going. Yes, probably not good.
Emoji.
Yeah, so that's
Want to be my
you
girlfriend?
might, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you may want to reconsider some stuff about your relationship, but I mean, just try to come up with the stuff to talk about. And if you're in school, then which I'm assuming, then you can talk about school stuff, talk about classes if you have any.
I mean, it's
similar
pop culture.
classes.
Make a list of things
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
like that interest you,
Yeah.
and bring those up.
Yeah,
And
and
if
if you don't
there's no
have-
response, then you're with a mime.
Yeah, and if you don't have anything in common, then I mean, if you don't have anything in common, then this relationship seems hard. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, there must have been a reason.
And I definitely agree, but I also think that if you guys could be talking for hours texting, then you guys have to be able to just bring up an old text, be like, hey, remember when you said this? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's
yeah,
true.
review your text conversation
Yeah.
and refer to
Save
it.
all the conversation.
Study.
Do your homework, honey.
What I was gonna say is that's the thing about being in a relationship and being friends, is that they're completely different. If you don't have that many things that you guys both agree on in a relationship, that's not gonna work. But if it's friends, then it actually helps in some way.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and you can always just say, like, via text the night before, like, all right, I'm going to talk about these 3 things with you tomorrow. And then give them a quiz. Like, what are your 3 favorite movies? And then the next day you'll be, like, able to talk about those movies because he will have filled in. Who's talking? Yeah.
Hopefully they were friends before they started dating, because if they were friends before and they were able to talk to each other just perfectly fine, then starting to date them shouldn't really, like, make a difference.
It's like an arranged marriage. or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Right?
I've never heard
Bring
of this.
flashcards and have a PowerPoint presentation.
There you go.
No, that was a joke.
Oh,
Then
All right,
stretch it out,
Yeah, don't
Kenneth.
do that. Don't do that.
Tag it.
Yeah, and if you were talking, like she was saying, if you were talking better before as friends and you're not able to right now, and if that's becoming an obstacle, then that probably means you were better off being friends. Sometimes I'm guessing that sometimes in your relationship, it just feels weird now. You probably just want to go back.
I don't know if I agree with you, though, because if you're like 14 or 16, you're just scared about the whole, we're dating, is everything supposed to change? And so maybe the message is, no, everything is not supposed to
Let's
change.
change it.
Just continue with the friendship and get past this, like, awkward patch. I don't really think that it just means back out, you were only supposed to be friends, because I don't want people to give up that easily. Just because it does feel a little bit scary to call it a relationship.
Or maybe play a board game together, something that's interactive, that where that might bring up some conversation.
Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah,
I was
Oh.
gonna
That's a
suggest
great
that, but you need
idea.
4 people.
No, you can get really offended really easily. I played it the other day, and when people didn't pick my card, I got offended.
I've never heard of
No,
that.
that was
Oh, okay. You have to look.
because it was like close
You'll have to look it up.
friends,
Yeah.
Okay.
and they knew which one was mine, and they intentionally didn't
Oh.
pick it. And I was like, "You're just being
That's
mean."
war.
That's just.
It's just this game that Aaron introduced me to that just makes you giggle. Like, there's no. Who am I looking at? Ken? I don't understand what you're saying, Aaron.
There was a
Okay,
question.
read
that
the
I-
next question.
Such
please.
professionalism in here, Weezy.
He has to go over the hand gestures with me in advance because I hadn't seen that one.
Was like, what do
What-
those
he
hand
was doing,
gestures
like,
mean?
Not landing a
It was-
plane,
It
saying
was like
down
charades
below.
it was charades for let Kenneth read the next question. Go ahead.
There we go. Okay, so there was a question that I found that's really important. It's, how do I get over the fear of participating in class? I just feel like I'm going to answer something wrong, and since a lot of people don't know me in that class, they might think that I'm not smart.
Oh. That's a common fear, though, to have. That sounds like it's a fear of, like, speaking in front of people. So I don't think it's just a fear of people thinking that you're stupid. It's just talking in front of people, and that's very common. And there are certain, there's got to be activities for that. I know there's probably, like, classes and things, but at this age, I wouldn't be worried about some. I don't think people are thinking that you sound stupid.
No, they're just like, wow, she was brave enough to talk in class. So
No, I think they're too busy thinking about themselves,
They
to be
are.
honest. They're not like, wow, she asked a question.
We're too busy on Snapchat.
Hello.
Yeah, it's like when you get called out by the teacher and like they yell at you, you get so embarrassed and you think the world is ending and you go home and you cry. Me. But literally nobody else cares.
Nobody.
Like they don't. Like I've been in the opposite situation where my best friend gets yelled at by the teacher and she is so embarrassed. But I'm just like, nobody cares. Like it's not a big deal. And I totally understand your fear. Like that's me all the time.
but I feel like you're going to be more upset that you didn't step out, you didn't stretch it out,
Yay.
than
We love Mozart.
than the fact that you got it wrong. Because
Right.
I know that I'll always feel like worse, like, oh, what could have been if I had spoken and gotten it right.
Or even just like added your opinion,
Yeah.
because a lot of what happens in class is just people sharing their view and not like answering the question correctly. Once you get
Yeah.
to high school, there's a lot of discussions that go on in classrooms, right, Veta?
Yeah, participation, I'd say, is a pretty important thing in class, and you just can't let the thoughts of other people get in the way. Like she was saying, no one's gonna really care that much. You know, they might like tease you a little bit, and just like, you know, because it's just kind of, if you just have something that might be funny, then they might just laugh at it a bit. But they're not gonna like hold it against you forever. Anyone that does is probably just a real jerk, which you shouldn't care about their opinion in the first place. But I mean, participation is really important. I mean, it can help you do well in the class just by, it helps you pay attention in the first place. It can help you study less for the class sometimes.
Oftentimes it's part of your grade.
Yeah, sometimes.
They-
Yeah, of
they
course. it's
measure
part of-
it.
Yeah, and don't put your grade. Don't try to choose the opinions of others to affect your grade either. That's not. There's no reason for it. But yeah.
Ken? Oh, sorry. Okay.
I feel how this person feels, because I was that person who was like, oh, I don't want to raise my hand because I don't want this question asked stupid, or if this answer is wrong, and it ended up being right. And for me, like, getting over it was really hard. It took a few years to be able to build up the confidence to be able, like, when I'd go up and stand to present a project, like, I'd be the one girl who's like shaking.
Aww. You're not the one girl.
No, not
Believe
the
me.
one girl, but yeah, and I'd be so scared. And then my mom would be like, oh, you have to get over it, because, like, I'm a singer, obviously, and I didn't sing in front of nobody. Like, my mom would be like, oh, she could sing and sing for them, and I'd be like, no, I didn't talk to nobody. And so finally my mom told me, and she's like, you have to break out of that. Like, it's not good to not be able to, like, to be scared to talk to somebody, or be scared to, you know, sing in front of a crowd. Now I'm like, I got over it. And
You
now
did
it's great.
And there are classes that you can join, like maybe debate team or other classes where they kind of like teach you how to do that, and it will strengthen that muscle for all of your classes, all of your experiences in life, where speaking in front of people is just part of.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea to sign up for a drama class,
right.
or or you said debate team, or there's definitely classes for that. I would think, especially in high school.
Yeah.
So actually, the main reason why I brought up this question is because it's something that's going on in my school, where we have this thing called a Socratic, where everybody has to come up with quotes from a book that we're reading and get questions and present it to the whole class. And it's like for a grade, like how many times you speak, and if like the information that you talk about is actually valid. And so there was a big problem, because there were really good students who just couldn't, like, they weren't very good at public speaking, and they got zeros on it. And so they came to the teacher and they talked about it, and we had a whole class discussion on it. And there's a bit of social Darwinism that comes to that type of thing, in my opinion, where if you can't do it, then that's something that's going to affect you for the rest of your life when you go out. And it's not all just assignments that you write and turn in. You have to interact with people. I have an interview at a college that's super nerve-wracking, and it's like, but that gets you that extra step in the door. And so even though it's something that's frightening, it's not even like I promise you, it's for a fact that in the rest of your life that's going to apply, that you're going to need to have to speak your mind.
So one of the themes that we're sort of establishing in this show is to push past your fears. So whether it comes to talking to someone who you find romantically interesting or speaking in class, it's not, all of life is not designed to be easy, and pushing past your fear is what gets you where you want to be. So sometimes there's a moment in your life where you go, like, just diving into the water, like, I'm going for it, because you can do it better.
All right. I see that you said that a lot of people don't know you in that class well. Well, I mean, like I said in the callback episode, I've moved every year of high school, and this year is my 4th year of high school. So I'm completely new, but I'm still participating every day, and I don't really care about anyone that might think that I'm asking too many questions, or if I'm giving too many answers, stuff like that, because that's just important for me to learn what I can. There's going to be people that respect and they're going to know that you're smart for answering, but if you never even gave it a shot, they're not gonna think you're smart if you didn't say anything in the first place. They're not gonna be like, oh, you're silent.
You're not fooling anyone by staying silent.
Silent, exactly. Yeah, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and that's true here too.
Wow, that's a good saying.
At some point, you're going to be called on in life.
Yeah.
You're going to have to speak, whether it's jury duty. At some point, we all have to speak up in front of a group.
Mm-hmm.
And you may not know when it's coming, but I don't think you can go through life with not having to answer something in front of people at some point.
Right.
So
you do.
Might as well start now.
Start now, exactly. I want to jump to this question because I feel like it's an important one. It's the who wants to read the one about the her boyfriend is an atheist.
I'll read it.
Go ahead, Moats.
Okay. My boyfriend is an atheist and I am Christian. I went to a party at my church and this friend of mine pulls me aside and she goes, "Are you still with him?" About my current boyfriend. I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Why? You deserve so much better." And I'm like, "I love him." She goes, "Does he go to church?" I'm like, "No." She goes, "So do you see how this is a problem?" That comment annoyed me. If a couple loves each other, they should be with each other. She makes me not want to talk to anyone or tell anyone my business. I made an effort to go to a church event and I get that thrown in my face.
So, I think we see what the question is. And so what I want to ask you guys is, what do you do in life when someone else has this kind of judgment regarding your personal life or your religious beliefs or what have you? Because we all run into that as well. Any experiences, any thoughts, any advice?
I'll start with that.
Yeah, I'll go.
If you haven't guessed by my face, I'm Jewish, and I married a Brazilian, and he is Catholic. And I was raised, my grandma Bertha, my mom, when are you going to marry someone Jewish? It was always, you're going to marry someone Jewish. Guess what? I didn't. And people had stuff to say. And you know what? Those people aren't around me anymore. If those people are going to surround you, you love who you love and you're with who you're with because they're a human being and what they have to offer to you. It's not about religion. I understand that plays a big part in people's life. But at some point, you just got to decide who you want to keep around you and who may feel a little more toxic.
Yeah. And I totally agree for someone who has grown up in a Christian church and several generations before me who've been in a Christian church. And, every time we have like a big family, so most of the aunts and they all go to church and like, "Oh, you're going to marry a nice church boy," or because they're always like the best ones to get. And I was just like, if it's a church boy or if it's not, it doesn't really matter because you're going to fall in love with him either way, no matter what religion he is.
Mm-hmm. Good. Better.
I say that if you really like the guy, there should be no problem. I see that religion is definitely can be an issue within a relationship because it's unlike race and unlike pretty much race, religion is more on your beliefs. So it's like if two people don't agree with each other, it's hard to have a good relationship when you don't agree on certain things. But I mean, if you are agreeing and it's working out, then it's good. It's like if you're able to, if he's atheist, but there has been no problems of disagreement, then you should go for it. But you can also be aware that sometimes certain beliefs will kind of be hard because it's like here, your boyfriend, he's not going to church with you. That might kind of upset you later as for what you're believing. And if you think he should be going with you, that could be a little issue, but for now, if it works, it works.
Mm-hmm. Ken?
My opinion is kind of different from everyone else's. I believe that religion is something that shouldn't be a part of that sort of thing, or until later when it comes to you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
If you're dating them for the person because you enjoy them. I feel like the religion shouldn't be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in love with them and you want to be with them, then why just because he's an atheist and you're Christian, you guys shouldn't be together? That's
I think when you go to church, there's people at church who go to church. And the more people go to a church, the more opinionated they are about how everyone is supposed to be going to a church. And so that's what you're going to get at church. And you shouldn't really let it bother you. Let them voice their opinions. That's what they're going to do. But until, like Kenneth said, until you're ready to get married, your ideological differences shouldn't really be a factor just yet because you're not ready to raise a family and it's not ready to come up whether or not we're going to church this Sunday. if it's not a thing yet, it doesn't need to be a thing.
Thank you. That's
Veda.
exactly what
Yeah, I totally agree with the dating part for sure. Like, it doesn't have to matter then because you're not really focused on that part of life yet. But like, I'd say that when it does, even though we're kind of talking for teens here, like when it comes to the marriage part of time, I would say that it gets important because that's when you do have to start thinking about those things. Because like raising a kid, it's like, do you want to send him? Like, if you believe one thing and you're sending him to a church and you don't believe that, or vice versa, your kid's not going to church, and it's like, it gets pretty hard, right? It might get pretty hard, right?
Yeah, I mean, what tends to be like kind of a rule of thumb is that if you're going to marry someone who's a different religion, you both probably should not be that religious.
Yeah.
And then it's fine. But if one of you is like really devout and the other one is an atheist, that might not be the best for a marriage. You want to have ideological similarities.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And you know, everybody's like so right. I would say like, I totally forgot what I was gonna say.
Was it stretch it out?
you like an air horn every single time.
You know,
that's said.
I would want her like to know like everybody who goes to church is very judgy, because if that person doesn't believe what they believe in, they're gonna judge them and they're gonna cast them out, which you know is not. You know, it's not a good thing.
No, it's what it is, though. We're going to go a little bit long, Aaron, because I'm going to cut out the middle of the show. But what it is, though, is that, like, at church, whether it's church or synagogue or mosque or what have you, you everyone's sort of signed up for a belief system, which means if we go along, we're all going to be together in heaven. And since no humans really know what happens, we all want to just be surrounded by the people that reinforce this so that we feel safe and that we feel like we're on the right team. And so you don't want anybody there who says, "Oh no, this may not be the right team," you know, because go ahead.
Yeah, and you know, as like a fellow Christian, you know, God doesn't say like there's one church who's right. He doesn't say I'm coming for my church. He says I'm coming for my churches. So not. And just because you're Christian, or you know, there's Pentecostal, there's Catholics, people have different religions, but doesn't mean it's the right one. Nobody really knows.
We don't know, and so I think real faith is just knowing that everybody has an opportunity to be loved by God or what have you, and knowing that you can't be rocked from your foundation just because you're surrounded by someone who has a different belief. Like that shouldn't be a threat to you. That's real faith and real strength. Veda.
Yeah, so like you said, like you can't choose that one religion's right over another at all, because I mean, you're not a god to say that, to like determine, and no god that would say that if it was truly a god, because that would be more of a, he'd be picking sides. He'd be choosing
God
people.
loves everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's going to have their opinions. You know, whether it's politics, whether it's religion. What's important is that, you know, is this person good to you? Are you good to this person?
Right. Are we good for each other?
Yeah. Does that make you happy? Then
as
move
long
forward.
as religion isn't standing in the way.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like if I had to like in the future like marry, like I'm Hindu, so I'm not. If I had to marry like a Christian girl that truly believed that if I'm not Christian that I'll be burning in hell or something like that, like if she truly believes something extreme like that, then I probably wouldn't not be marrying her there, because like it's kind of hard, you know, like knowing that your loved one after your life is done won't be there with you type of thing, you know. It's like that's kind of harsh to have that, to be with her and have her to fear that.
Do we have a phone call? Yes, we do. All right. Hello, thank you for calling Journals Out Loud. Who's this?
I'd like to stay anonymous, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay, so I found out the other day that I had lice. And my friends and I share hairbrushes in the locker room all the time. And I'm not sure how to tell them. Should I tell them?
Yes.
Should I let them find out on their own?
Yes, because like, you know what? I know you're embarrassed and you want to stay anonymous, but like lice goes around schools like crazy.
Yes.
So, I mean, I know that the cure for it is that you have to wash your hair with this awful stuff and everything. But yeah, you should tell them, or maybe your mom should tell their parents, and it's nothing to be embarrassed
about. Or even
about.
notifying the school and say, now you don't have to go and tell them directly and be like, oh guys, I have lice. You can just tell like the principal or somebody ahead of the school and tell them, you know what, I have lice and I may have given it to other girls.
Yeah, and lice didn't magically grow out of your head. You got it from somebody else. So it's
lice happens. It's
yeah,
not
lice
something
happens.
to be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Is that a T-shirt? Lice happens.
I
It
think
should
so.
be.
We'll make
Stretch that out.
Stretch it out.
Well played.
Yeah. Absolutely let them know so that if
Yeah.
they start itching, you won't be like looking at them like, oh, I should have told them. Like it's not that big a deal. It kind of
Yeah.
goes around and then it's done.
Yeah, I've caught way worse things than lice, so you are okay. Really.
I'm afraid that kids are going to find out and they're going to
No,
make fun of
no,
me.
no.
I don't
The adults
care.
really know how to handle this
Yeah.
very, very
And I'm pretty
subtly.
sure half of the other girls probably had lice like a lot of times when they were younger.
Yeah, no one's going to point it back to you because
Yeah.
no one actually knows where it started, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nobody's fault,
Yeah.
and don't worry about it. But do let your mom or your dad or your adult know so that they can notify the other adults, and you can just stay out of it. And thank you for your call. It's a really good question. We are Journals Out Loud on the Journals Network. I want to thank our panel. Thank all the kids. Thank Shawn Pelofsky. Shawn Pelofsky, hahachick.com. Goodbye, everybody.
Stretch it out.
Stretch it out.
You guys are
Wait,
so
Andrew, play the music because Matt. Yay! Andrew's a multitasker.